Another phase of the Sastra program was held in Gampaha yesterday. MP Sajid Premadasa presented a financial donation for the renovation activities of the Karanakamulla Sri Gangarama Viharya in the Bemmul area in Gampaha.
Asare sar matino, sare cha sar dassino, kesarang nadigachanti, micha sankappa gochara.
Those who see bad as good and see good as bad, and those who have bad thoughts will never prosper. When you look at the political arena today, it is obvious that we are living in an era where everything wrong is endorsed, even when failure is in sight. We should have the ability to identify what is good without paying attention to whether the good deed was done by a blue, green, red or white party. We should have the courage to identify something good.
In order to face future challenges, the time has come to look at things in a different light. Let's take a look at how renewable energy can play a role in this regard. The day that crude oil supplies, which fulfill a large percentage of our energy needs, run dry is not far away. Renewable energy has emerged as the most viable solution to this looming problem. The Vidulka exhibition, which aims to promote the use of sustainable energy, will commence on Thursday, the 11th of August at the BMICH in Colombo. Those who visit this exhibition can learn as to how natural resources like water, sea waves and wind can be made use of to produce energy.
And Vidulka exhibition's aim is to promote that green, clean energy and to promote conservation activities. And also there is a rewarding system. We had a competition and we reward all the competitors who are participating with their new techniques to conserve energy and energy auditing systems in their institutions.
Now in Sri Lanka, posters and politics have an inseparable relationship. The National Trade Union Centre, annoyed that the posters were being ripped off the walls by the law enforcement authorities, resorted to a novel method to get their message across. The National Trade Union Centre launched a poster campaign recently demanding a 10,000 rupees salary hike. Representatives of the centre, who charged that they encountered various obstacles in carrying out their poster campaign, displayed their posters at the Borella Junction. Now, this novel campaign was named Poster Campaign on a Human Wall.
Well, you're watching News Fest live here on Channel 1 MTV. It's time now for Action TV.
On the 8th of August last year, Action TV revealed the On the 8th of August last year, Action TV revealed the manner in which the administration of the Swarnapali Balika Vidyalaya in Anuradhapura charged 500 rupees each from the students for a herbal garden project which did not have the approval of the Ministry of Education. Although the Internal Audit Division of the Ministry of Education had commenced an inquiry into this and several other issues, the inquiry report has not been released as yet. The most senior officer of the Sri Lanka Education Administration Service, who is attached to the North Central Province Department of Education, who conducted an inquiry into a financial fraud in enrolling students to grade 1 of the school in 2008, recommended that since the principal of Swarnapali Balika Vidyalaya should take responsibility for the relevant financial irregularities, any penalty that could be handed out should be handed to her. However, it is in this backdrop that the Ministry of Education provided a one-year service extension to the principal in March this year. The budget for the year 2010 of the School Development Society and the School Upliftment Fund, which are chaired by her, has been issued. The money that is credited to the School Development Society account is used for the daily expenses of the school. The School Upliftment Fund is an account maintained from the money obtained from the government or generous donors for a definite project initiated by the school. Incidentally, the expenses of Swarnapali Balika Vidyalaya for the first 6 months of 2010 were covered by the School Development Society account, while the expenses of the remaining 6 months were borne by the School Upliftment Fund. Money was credited to both these accounts against the circular of the Ministry of Education, while the money in both these accounts was spent in a manner that was in contravention of the circular as well. Furthermore, both budgets do not have any records of the money that was collected for a herbal garden from the 4,000 students studying at the school, nor the manner in which the money collected was spent. This is a document which contains the findings of an audit along with the signatures of 3 of the 4 auditors who were appointed to conduct an audit on both budget reports by the parents themselves. The 4th section in the document, which consists of 4 conclusions, states that the financial statements which are issued according to the 2 particular budget reports were true and just. However, a report which distorted these facts mentioned under the 4th section was handed over by the principal to the Internal Audit Division of the Ministry of Education. The 4 auditors had also placed their signatures in this report, yet one of the auditors told Action TV that he had not signed the report. The attempts made by Action TV to make inquiries in this regard from the other 3 auditors proved futile. The principal too avoided speaking to Action TV. Shouldn't inquiries be made on whether this document depicts the non-implementation of recommendations made through an inquiry conducted on a financial fraud in 2008 and also the undermining of the audit report compiled through an internal audit inquiry conducted in September last year? Secretary to the Ministry of Education, this is over to you.
A very good evening. This is Sports First. The second T20 encounter between host Sri Lanka and Australia is currently underway at the Pallekele International Stadium in Kandy. The Sri Lankans went on to score 157 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their 20 overs. Winning the toss, Sri Lanka opted to take first lease of the wicket. Sri Lanka got off to a good start with openers Mahela Jayawardene and T.M. Dilshan adding 23 runs in the first 2 overs. Dilshan was the first to fall as he was trapped in front by Brett Lee for 4. Dinesh Chandimal managed to score 13 runs before he was caught and bowled by Steve Smith. Thisara Perera was the next to fall as he was caught in the deep of a Mitchell Johnson delivery for 9. However, Mahela Jayawardene continued his onslaught and went on to reach his 6th T20 half-century. Kumar Sangakkara managed to score a quick-fire 24 runs before he was undone by John Hastings. Hastings struck again twice to dismiss Jeevan Mendes and Angelo Matthews cheaply.
Oh, there it is. It's bowled him. It's given himself room.
Mahela Jayawardene, who played a well-paced innings, went on to score 86 runs before being caught in the deep in the final over. Sri Lanka ended up with 157 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. Chasing 158 runs for victory, Australia were 96 for the loss of 4 wickets in 13 overs. Moving on, the 89th National Athletics Championship, which was held at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Stadium in Diagama over the past 3 days, concluded today. Incidentally, J.A. Sachin Maduranga established a national record in the men's javelin throw event today. Sachin Maduranga cleared a distance of 77.29 metres to establish the record. He eclipsed the record of 75.41 metres held by Varun Dayaratne of the Sri Lankan Navy. Nearly 850 athletes took part in this year's Athletics Championship. Incidentally, 2 new meet records and 2 national records were established this year.